Our names are Chris and Sally Helm, and we've known Naomi for nigh on 20 years. We worked out, thereabouts.
We met Naomi when we were all at uni, and I remember Naomi working at the Melbourne Uni Bailey Library, and my first impression was short, but like this amazing smile, and she was always pleased to see everybody, and and I had no idea that she was going through a lot of hard stuff at the time, because she was just always bubbly and pleased to see us. Alright, we met at the uni students' church, and then we all moved across the road to the Carlton housing estates, where they had a community church there, and Naomi and I both worked there.
Yeah. So Sally and Naomi were employed by St Jude's, which is a big church in Carlton, if you've come across it, that has a few different arms, and they were both employed to connect into the housing estates community over there. If you know Lygon Street, if you know those tall buildings there. Sal was doing a lot of stuff with kids, Naomi was doing a lot of stuff with youth, but what that meant was that they were both hanging out with families and just people, because that's what you do in Carlton. You wind up in the estates and you connect in with the community, and that's really what was going on. That happened through the year, and then it all kind of came to a peak in the summertime when there was a small church congregation there, that Sally and Naomi were kind of employed through, but you spend most of your time out amongst the people. And in the summertime, that small church congregation would take a large group of people from Carlton away for camps every year. And we were just chatting with Jeff, who's been working there for 30 years, and he was saying they're just gearing up for their next, you take 120 people, usually mums and kids. The dads are off driving taxis, and the mums and kids, we take them down to the beach. And some of these families have literally never seen the ocean before, particularly recently arrived from the Horn of Africa or something like that, and never seen the ocean. So just being able to experience that, and Naomi and us together have been able to see people see the ocean for the first time is a pretty remarkable experience. But one of the things that, if you know Naomi or if you don't know about her, she's incredibly good at, as Sal said, big smile, and so you immediately feel welcomed by her, which means that she can often get past people's masks and kind of get behind their shades and into the real person. And one small anecdote about a time she did that for the Muslim community in Carlton, and that sort of spread off into Kensington and North Melbourne as well. She took a bus trip of girls away on a weekend away just to mentor. And so all the girls came down to the bus, all dressed up in hijabs and fully clothed and covered, and hopped in this bus. I think maybe 10 minutes out of town, Naomi's driving the bus, and the scarves came off. So these girls all felt pretty comfortable with Naomi. The scarves came off, but then other things started to come off, to the point where it's all kind of singlets and shorts, and everyone's just kind of having a good time. Naomi's like, well, okay, we're all comfortable here, we're all getting along quite well. When people started mooning out the window, then she kind of got, yeah, right, you guys really know how to kind of hang out. That's cool. And there was a few girls who said they weren't coming, but then they showed up kind of, an hour down the road with their boyfriend. And Naomi was really quite good at getting behind people's masks and really getting to know the real them. And that's been very true in her work, and it's been very true not just in her work, but in her relationships very much as well. And we've really appreciated that about you as well.
Okay. Anyone who knows Naomi knows she's obsessed with exercise, and we went on a camp in Blackwood once, and it was really hot. We were all driving up there hot, and then she decided to ride up there, as you do. But she loves Zumba, and she has done Zumba with people in Carlton, and then went to Kenya and South Africa, and she had a Zumba group of black African grandmas who were all and she does Zumba now with all the NGOs around here, I think. Yes. We asked Naomi to be the godmother of our big girl Abby here nearly 10 years ago, and I was thinking about why we did that, and I think she's just a person of great integrity and faithful friend, very loyal to people, and I just wanted my kid to grow up knowing someone, a good role model, I guess, or someone who, yes, she could really look up to. And Naomi has been an amazing godparent. She always remembers birthdays, remembers the baptism day, and I don't even know when it is. But, and we get letters, we've got letters from all over the world, and it's made a huge impact already for Abby, and yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. We've really appreciated having Naomi as our friend, and Naomi's really embraced Abby as her own as well. So that, I mean, we do get letters, but it's Abby that gets letters and postcards and pictures, and we really value and appreciate that, and that's an insight into that depth of integrity and commitment and loyalty that Naomi has about her. If you were to, just from the outside, kind of chart Naomi's work career, it would look, it could almost look like this really intentional career development. It really hasn't been, except that she's now the state director of, you know, one of the major NGOs in Australia. If you just look from the outside, you kind of go, yeah, that all makes sense, but it's not been that way for Naomi. Naomi, just by virtue of being herself, has found her way through being employed by a church in Carlton, community development, families caring for people, that then took her from working with Africans in Carlton to working with Africans in Africa, working in Kenya, working in South Africa, working for the Institute for the Healing of Memories, which is, if you ever get the chance to hear stories from Naomi about her incredible work with that incredible organisation, then hear those stories, because it's just incredibly inspiring to hear that. One of the things that's incredible about Naomi is that she's taken some of her own. I mean, everybody has things in their life that hurt them, that cause them to struggle and trip over. Naomi's been able to take her own struggles and turn them into something that has been a blessing for other people, that she helps them to make sense of their struggles too. She's been doing that at the Institute of the Healing of Memories over in South Africa, and has now made her way back to continue to work with recent arrivals and people down in Dandenong, and, you know, got herself on TV advocating for the rights of refugees and recent arrivals down there in Dandenong, and as you know, now the State Director of Victorian branch of TIA Australia. It could look like this really intentional career, but it's not been. It's just Naomi being Naomi, and that's who she is. By virtue of caring for people and loving people and reaching out, she's now being recognised for having those skills and experience that make her perfectly placed for those roles now. Yeah.
And just to finish, it's a privilege for us to be asked to do this, but I was in the kids' escape pod before and having a chat to Katie, and we were drawing all together, and I said, how do you guys know Andrew and Naomi? And they said, wow, we've known Andrew like since before I was born, and he lived with us, and he's a really great person. And I said, well, we haven't had Naomi live with us, but we've kind of got the opposite story. Naomi's a really great person, and it was lovely. And I think so many of us have hoped for so long for Naomi to have someone to share her journey with, and we were very excited watching the TV and seeing the episode. So yeah, we just want to wish you all the best. Thank you.